beating these games up. Buccaneers, Broncos is up next. And, there was some talk about how the survivor or suicide pool, or however you call it, is tough this week. I think Colts and Buccaneers are pretty easy here. But let's talk about it. And that's just in a survival pool, not in a
Yeah, a lot of people thought the Colts were easy week 1, though.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Buccaneers opened up at -6. This total sitting at 43.5. There are 2 books that have dropped it to 43. Maybe that's where it is going. Nutflush Allen joining us. Great to see you, Nutflush Allen. Bada boom, nuke worker. All right, let's talk about these Broncos. Drew Lock hurts his shoulder, and now this injured reserve for the Broncos is awful. Cortland Sutton, Draymond Jones, Von Miller, AJ Bouye, Justin Strnad, Austin Fort. Looks bad. Broncos hung around in that 26-21 loss. Driscoll goes 18 of 34 for 256 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and he was getting hammered. He was getting hit hard. And the Buccaneers, man, that late touchdown really broke my spirit on the Panthers +9. But Tampa Bay was in control of that game. And Mike Evans, 7 passes for 101 yards, so that's over. That terrible debut where he caught 1 pass, 2 yards for a TD. Brady goes 23 of 35 for 217 yards and 1 TD. Fournette looked good and broke through that on that last play. It ends up for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. Buccaneers, Broncos. Bebsy, what do you think here?
I'm not excited about Tampa Bay yet. I said I wanted to sit back and watch. I still don't think, Tom got a lot more praise for this week, but if you go back and look at that game, it's not like he made incredible passes. Jeez. I think I like the under in this just because I don't feel Tampa is going to have to put up a lot of points. Like you said, this Denver team is just destroyed. They're destroyed. They were, I think, overrated to start the season, and then they've already lost their best offensive player. They lost their best defensive player. They've lost their quarterback. There's not much left on that team. So I don't see them putting up the points, and I don't see the Bucs as a team that's just going to start stomping and rolling up the score. The best thing that can happen is Tom not having to throw the ball a lot. He can dink and dunk and let his receivers do the work after, smash the ball with Fournette. I don't like the spread here. If anything, I like this under.
Let's take a look at it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Scott, John has to work in the AM. Same with Nuke Worker at Darlington Nuclear. Thank you so much for joining us. And we got our Ron Crawford in the chat. Made it through Hurricane Sally. Man, that was tough. I was so happy that you and your family are safe. Those pictures looked awful. And thank you for being back in action. And so glad to hear that you guys are all good. Let's talk about this total right now. 43.5. I mean, Driscoll was airing the ball out like crazy. But everybody here, all these cappers here, liking the under as well. You're not worried that Driscoll just airs it out like crazy going up against Tom?
Well, the only way I can see that happening is if in the second half they're getting blown out. I think if anything, they'll try and play a semi-conservative game with Driscoll back there. I mean, it's not just Driscoll. Like, Cortland Sutton's on IR now. He's out. Like, he's such a good receiver and a legit bona fide number one. Judy, I think, is injured too. Am I correct in that? I know he was on the injury report.
Let me just pull it up right now on Judy. I thought here we go. No, I don't have Judy on the report right now.
No? Okay, well, that's something because I thought he appeared on the injury report. I could be wrong.
Buccaneers, Broncos. So, what do you think about our birdie laughing out loud, saying, wait for this line to hit 8 and bet the Broncos? Brady does not play well in Denver. I know it'll be hard to do, but if that line gets to 8, I will be on the Broncos.
Yeah, Justin Grammer's just saying it was concussion related, right? Yeah, I think Judy had a concussion last week, so maybe he's at a concussion protocol already.
Philip Lindsay is not expected to be in the lineup this week.
Oof, that's so many injuries. That's the thing is I don't think Tom has to play good in Denver. Tom doesn't have to be good right now. He's got a good defense, and he has more weapons than he's had arguably in his entire career. He just doesn't have to be good right now. He just has to not screw up. So if Tom looks at what Cam did and decides he wants to show him up, Tom's ego can beat him right now. If he starts putting that ball up, then he's going to get picked off because, quite frankly, Tom can't throw like he used to. But if he plays conservatively, he doesn't have to play well in Denver. That's why I lean towards the under, but stay away from that line. If it gets up to 8, then sure, yeah, bet the Broncos to cover. But the only play right now for me is the under, and the more I talk about it, the more I like it.
Well, let's do a line shop for you here and see, has there been any movement? As I said, a couple books. So the first 43s have hit the board from 43.5. Let's see what we are getting here from the licensed American books. Here we go. 43.5s. And what? Bet Rivers has dropped it to 43. So Bet Rivers, the first legal license book, dropped it to 43. The 43.5s, there's only 2 -110s left at DraftKings and BetMGM. All the others are juiced. So this 43s are coming. Do you want to lock in a 43.5?
I don't know. Now I got to think about this one.
All right. We have a lean towards the under in Buccaneers Broncos from Bebsy.